The highly requested get to know me video that we've been waiting for is finally here. Some of you guys know me, some of you guys don't. My name is David Demove. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Also, welcome to my life. Not only do I share on YouTube, I also share on other social media platforms, which is where I started. God actually ended up leading me to YouTube, which is a platform that I genuinely love and I've always loved and was a dream to be a part of. And now we're here. I am here filming something for you guys that I would want personally to understand and get to know someone too. I'll be answering a lot of the questions that you guys have asked me from an Instagram post I posted months ago, and I never ended up filming, but now I have the camera, I have the microphone for it. So let's just get into it. We have no excuses. I'm going back on my Instagram to find where exactly I asked you guys the questions. I remember it was a story post. Found the video. A lot of questions and a lot of ones we won't answer because they're unnecessary to answer. Here's a simple question. Your age. I am 23 years old. I was born December 7th, 2000, so I am a December baby. It's kind of older, always the older one in my class. Turning 24 very soon, super exciting. There's a whole testimony about my life and how much like God showed me and took me through. It's awesome. What brought you closer to God? That's a really good question. Feeling lifeless and living purposeless has brought me to God. He's the one that gave me life and gave me value and purpose. Not having life and like this joy and urge to live is what brought me to God. Where are you from? I was born and raised in California and just always been a Cali boy. I've never lived in the city. I've always lived in the suburbs. That's how I grew up. What is your testimony? I love that question, but I will save that for a separate video because it's very long and it's something that I do want to share more intimately in a whole isolated video of my personal testimony. So I'll definitely be doing that soon. What's your background? My parents are both from Ukraine. My mom is Ukrainian, my dad is Bulgarian, and they both came here after having 2 kids. I guess I can answer how many siblings I have. We have 10 kids in the family. I'm the 5th out of 10, 5 boys, 5 girls. Grew up in a pretty big household and yeah, it was definitely a character builder and also really helps you socially and interact with different types of people, right? Because every sibling is going to be different. I like this question. How did you get into fashion? I've always really been into fashion, but I never really got into like the aesthetic and fashion that I'm in now until about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And that's when I really went into thrifting. So before thrifting, I've always known thrift. So we grew up on thrift stores. We didn't grow up really rich at all. Not that we're rich now, but we didn't grow up with like a lot of money. So we were always more in like Goodwills and thrift stores. That was the cheapest option to save money growing up, especially with a big family. It's totally understandable and I'm really grateful for it because it ended up building me to who I am today. But how did I get into fashion? I was in college. I was very depressed and not depressed like sad, more like depressed like I felt a lack of in a lot of things and I felt really low in my life creative wise, and I was just doing pre-nursing, so I was in school and I was just grinding out school every single day and still being part of my church and like a few friends here and there. I mean, college and school was my life, so I didn't really care or put in any time or effort for style or like my appearance or just in general feeling like confident. That's not something I pursued or made time for because I didn't really have time for it because I was studying for school. I got into fashion after that. After that, I was so sick and tired of my wardrobe. It was just sweats and hoodies and Gymshark apparel, and I never really was motivated to like get on with my days because I never like had a style and aesthetic that I really liked, but I never really like stepped into it until I started thrifting more. So I had a few friends that took me out thrifting and I thrifted, and I've been there before, but I never thrifted in the way that I thrift now, which you guys know in my channels that I love thrifting. A big actually reason why I blew up on any of my platforms was thrifting. Like thrifting was a big one that pushed my content out, and a lot of people really enjoyed the content that I showed when I did go look for something at a thrift store because I always had kind of like a goal, which again, thrifting is a whole separate video and I definitely want to be making a lot more thrifting content because you guys like it and I personally love to share it. I got into fashion a lot more the more I thrifted because it ended up showing me different styles and I didn't feel bad if I ended up trying it and hating it, because that's what thrifting is all about. It's about trying, testing, figuring out what your style is, what you like, what you don't like, and then you get to keep or give away or sell or whatever with the clothes, you know. And it wasn't that much money. It wasn't like a $55 shirt that you have to like like now that you bought. It was more of like, oh, this is like a $7 shirt. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Let's try it out, you know? So I loved that so much about thrifting, and I slowly started really grabbing into my wardrobe and getting more passionate about fashion and mixing and matching. What helped me grow in fashion was definitely staying committed to not saving outfits and just wearing your best outfit every time you go out. That's what really built like a constant creative mind of like, I need to create a cool outfit. Anyway, I'm saying way too long at this question. How did you get into starting to read the Bible and staying consistent with your faith? That's a great question. I think what helped me and is still really helping me push to read the Bible is seeing the benefit that comes from it. When I read the Word of God, I get so much motivation in life because I realize that this is the correct way to live and everything I do in my life is for Jesus. So when I learn more about Him and what I need to be like and who He is like, it motivates me and builds my faith up. Reading the Word will definitely pursue like this pouring like life into you, and it is so awesome because it keeps you going, I would say. And even like this morning I just turned on the Bible because I didn't have like the physical energy to open up the Word, and I was just so tired and I'm like, oh, I feel so unmotivated. I turned on the Word of God and it helped me throughout that whole morning, and I ended up doing so many things. Like I filmed a video before this which was just like me really excited about the fact that I got a new camera, and I was just like super joyful and excited. And then I ended up filming like 3 other videos, getting some video posted, and just doing a bunch of other things that I've been procrastinating and I had motivation to do because I came to God and listened to His Word, and it was motivating and exciting and something that I'm looking forward to growing. So that's what helps build my faith, definitely reading the Word. And staying consistent is just realizing the benefit of it and realizing this is something you want, and even though it's hard, it's something that's really good for you. I'm curious to know what's your ethnicity. Mom's Ukrainian, dad's Bulgarian. In our household we grew up speaking Russian, Ukrainian. I'm not Mexican, but a lot of people think that I'm Mexican. A lot of people talk to me in Spanish. I speak English fluently, and of course I understand Russian, Ukrainian, I speak it, but we never grew up speaking Bulgarian, but my dad is Bulgarian, and that's kind of where the darker features come from. I'm from Europe. Well, I guess my ethnicity is. Ooh, what is your dream job? Honestly, low-key this. Like being able to film, create, work with brands, and then also having my own business and brand. Like that is something that's always been a dream of mine. I want to have like a Christian company. I don't know what specifically, but Christian company is something I really would want. Also a thrifting company, whether it's like with someone or even myself, reselling like thrift clothes that I love and have passion for, and like make it aesthetic where it's like 90s themes and like a rack of 90s clothes or like 80s clothes and 2010 clothes. I don't know, but like just that kind of idea I love so much, and I love style and obviously you guys know I love thrifting, so that's something that honestly is low-key a dream job. Do you have siblings, and how many? I already mentioned this, but I have 9 siblings. I have 4 brothers and 5 sisters. I'm the 5th, flat in the middle. A lot of you guys know Abby, she's the 6th. So me and her grew up middle children. There's 10 siblings, 2 parents, so we've had 12 people in our house. And that's not including daycare we also had in our house. Definitely a lot of kids. What is your favorite thing to do? I feel like that's a very broad but also very specific question. My favorite thing to do, I think, is spend quality time with my favorite people. I would say with my best friend Abby, my best friend Raph, my sisters, Diana, Lily, my younger siblings, like spending time with the people that like God's blessed me with. I think that like the quality time with that, whether it's shopping, whether it's watching a movie together, whether it's working out together, playing volleyball together. I have my buddy Eli I grew up in high school with, and he was someone that like was my comfort. Like he was such a good friend. He cared so much about growing, and it motivated me so much because I also wanted to grow. I'll just say quality time with the people that God's blessed me with. Like that's honestly one of my favorite things to do. If I get to do that every day, I'll be happy. Because every time I don't do that, I'm like, ugh, like this week was hard, and then I look back and I'm like, ew, I didn't have enough time with people. Definitely quality time. That, and then if like action wise, I love, one of my favorite things is I love working out. I love volleyball so much. Some of you guys maybe don't know, but I don't really post that, but yeah, I do also love sports, so I love volleyball. Thrifting is something I love to do. I like furniture shopping. That's also really fun, as you guys have seen in some of my videos. Love coffee. So my favorite thing, one other favorite thing is definitely making a cup of coffee. I like going on photo shoots because I also love photography. I like to do that. and sometimes occasionally model, but it's just to like show the outfits, you know? So yeah, that's my favorite things to do. Do you play an instrument? If not, is there an instrument that you would like to learn? Yes, so I didn't play an instrument growing up, but I've always wanted to learn guitar. That's something that I hope in the near future, or honestly in these maybe even next months, I really want to get into even a small ukulele. The guitar, the sound, the everything, like I love singing and I love music and I love worshiping God so much that honestly a ukulele would be so cool to have and to learn, something like small and like vibey. That's what I would like to learn, guitar vibes for sure. What are your plans for the future professionally speaking? I want to have my own business, a Christian either clothing brand or even product. I also potentially want to own a thrift reselling shop, and I want to invest into housing. So that's kind of also why I stepped into construction, because I kind of really like the idea of real estate. So if I can renovate a place, if that's something like God pushes me to do, then I want to do that too. But I definitely want to like invest into properties and be able to like hire people to then resell, maybe wholesaling. There's a whole lot about real estate that I haven't learned or even stepped into, but that's something I'm definitely interested in and maybe looking forward to in the near future professionally. What is your highest degree of education? I have a prerequisites in pre-nursing and allied health. I have 2 more years to get my bachelor's and to become a registered nurse, but I actually put that aside and decided to not pursue that because the Lord took me out of that, which is again a whole separate testimony. But yeah, that's something I definitely want to share because it's actually really cool how God led that. And a lot of people have asked, and I've definitely shared this testimony where it's like, how do you know where God wants you? How do you know where you should be? How do you know what you should pursue? How do you know what's God's will? And honestly, for me, I didn't 100% know until I took the actions of stepping out of it. And then I was like, whoa, this was God's will, not this, you know? How long does it take to grow out the stash? Probably 2 weeks, 3. Probably like overgrown is like a month. It takes a couple, because I've shaved this mustache in April and it took like at least 2 weeks to kind of like show up again, like more obviously. And then after the 3rd week, it was more obvious. And then the 4th week, I was like, wow, okay, like it looks like I have a full mustache. What's something you're passionate about? I'm really passionate about style, social media, being a good friend, having a relationship with God, aesthetic. I'm really passionate about aesthetic. I'm really passionate about the gym too. It hasn't been obvious in my life, but I'm also passionate about healthy food. I love healthy food. Not that I make the best choices all the time, but I love healthy food. I grew up around it. So it's something that I genuinely love and I think benefits you a lot. What sports are you into and what team you support? I don't know why I really like the 49ers. I don't watch football often, but I had best friends that watched football and I would watch it with them just because they really liked it and they wanted me to get into it. So 49ers is probably like a football team that I support, and just because like I've watched it before and it was very interesting. So I don't know, but I didn't grow up around sports. We didn't really grow up around like TV. It's something I never really got into, and none of my friends were really into it until after like 16, 17 years old. So before that, I didn't really know much about sports and I was never really into it because that's not something that I did growing up. I definitely grew up playing soccer, so I really liked soccer, but I never really watched it again. We didn't really have television, so that's not something I ever pursued. But I do love volleyball and I watch volleyball a little bit more, and I definitely play volleyball a lot more. Yeah, volleyball's more my sport. What did you want to be when you were younger? I wanted to be a nurse, like around teens, maybe like high school time. But when I was younger, I think I wanted to be a vlogger, a YouTuber. I think I did. I mean, come on. Why did I film so much? I liked watching YouTubers. Not that I remember it, but I just remember vlogging like on my phone all the time. Types of jobs you've had throughout your lifetime. That's a good question. Was a babysitter. So growing up, we grew up in daycare. So I always helped with the daycare. So babysitter, but it wasn't a paid job. So my very first job, I think was, oh my gosh, I forgot. When I was 15 years old, I worked as a window cleaner. That was crazy. So as a 15-year-old, I worked as a window cleaner for a little while. And then after that, I ended up going to a restaurant. I think I was like 16 or 17. I think I was like 16 and a half. I worked at a restaurant for like over a year. It was an Armenian restaurant. So I worked as a server and also like with food. And it gained me a lot of experience. I loved it. Then after that, I ended up working at Chick-fil-A. So I loved Chick-fil-A so much. I worked there for over a year throughout high school. And then something really dramatic happened. And I saw that God was pulling me out of it, so I ended up leaving it. after that, I was in nursing school. I was in pre-nursing for community college, and then I ended up getting a job as a caregiver. So to get my hours and experience in the medical field, I worked as a caregiver. I loved it too so much. It taught me so much patience and love and care, and I learned so much about elderly, and it brought me so much experience and hands-on, like just understanding what the medical field looks like, how much sacrifice and time it is. It was awesome, and I honestly thought I was gonna be in it for the last months of it, and then what I went through with my accident really changed everything for me because I wasn't able to work there anymore, and that's when I had to ask God, what do you have planned for me? So, and then after that, I had the desire to work in a construction job, and I didn't know why, but then I got the idea of I want to be into real estate, so I got into real estate for school to get a real estate license to be a realtor. That was my goal. So I was in school for about like almost a full year, and during that time I ended up getting a job in construction to be just like a helper. And after that I gained 2 full years of experience in construction, and in construction, general construction, ended up doing social media, and in social media I ended up getting a commercial brand. So I ended up working with brands, and then through social media, and now I'm working with brands, social media. That's crazy. Kind of my background for work. Oh, and I also have a vintage shop that I sell on like my Depop. I also resell clothes that I wear, style, advertise, and then just sell to you guys. One more question. Do you always cut your own hair? Yes, now I do. In November of last year was my first time cutting my hair. Actually, I have those videos like up on my TikTok, which is so crazy. But my first time I cut my hair, and just like I was cutting my hair for almost a full year now. I would just do it all myself. I learned everything about it hands-on. I'm a very hands-on learner, so I just would grab scissors, cut it, thin it out, try a bunch of different. I was sticking with the mullet look because it was very simple cut. It was just like a skin fade, and then just make sure you have layers throughout the top and the back of your hair. So I learned a lot about hair cutting. So I've been cutting my hair for almost a full year now, and I literally love it. It's actually a fun hobby for me, and I look forward to cutting my hair because it's completely in my hands, and I get to like do whatever I want with it, and I get to film it and share it with you guys. So it's a lot of fun. It's honestly a great blessing. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for getting to know me more. Thank you so much for caring and wanting to seek a friendship with me online. It's honestly really awesome, and I'm really grateful to God to have you guys here. This is truly a gift from God. Social media is a gift from God, and having any type of community is a gift from the Lord. So I want to give all glory to Him because it's truly Him, and I want to share a lot more with you guys, and I will in this near future. Thank you guys for all your care and support. Please leave a comment down below for me to get to know you guys. I've actually done a get to know me video, and people have listed like things on my TikTok. They've listed things of like them, and I ended up getting to know them more. And then I have this like handful of people that are always like active on my comments, and I interact with them, and I get to know them more, and they get to know me more, and we have an actual friendship online, which is so cool, and I want that for all of us. So if you guys have anything that you guys are comfortable sharing in the comments, that would be so awesome for me to get to know you guys more. I would love to know more about you. You can just give me some facts that you're willing to share, and I'll know a little bit about you. So it's super cool. Thank you guys for all your care and compassion and love and support. Thank you so much. Follow me on all my platforms, on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, everything. I'm a very big with fashion, thrifting. I try to be motivational, very like trying to continue to build a relationship with God. So that's something I definitely try to put out as Christian content, because that's truly where my life is at, and that's my sole purpose of even being here, is because God placed me here, and it's truly a blessing to have the opportunity to even film and share with people that I've never even seen or met. So it's awesome. It's a blessing. Thank you all so much. May God bless every single one of you guys and your families and your situations and your lives. Thank you for all your care. I love you all so much, and the Lord loves you even more. Stay blessed, guys.